The grand mating hall had never felt so suffocating. Rows of nobles, alphas, warriors, and elders filled the massive chamber, all dressed in ceremonial black and silver. Torches flickered against stone walls, casting long shadows across the sacred altar where destinies were meant to unite. Tonight was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it felt like a prison. Aurora Blackwood stood at the center of the hall in a silver ceremonial gown that shimmered under the moonlight pouring in from above. To everyone watching, she looked stunning. But beneath that calm exterior, she was falling apart. Her hands trembled at her sides. Not from fear.
From rage.
Across from her stood Alpha Damon Vale.
Tall.
Powerful. Arrogant. The kind of man who had never been told no in his entire life. A smug smile rested on his face, as if tonight's outcome had already been decided. Because in his mind it had. This wasn't a sacred union. It was ownership. Damon leaned closer. His voice was low enough that only Aurora could hear. After tonight, you'll finally learn your place. Aurora's stomach twisted. Her wolf stirred violently inside her. Every instinct screamed at her to run, to fight, to refuse. But this ceremony wasn't built on love. It was built on power. From his throne high above the hall, Alpha Magnus Blackwood watched in silence.
Cold.
Sharp. Unmoved. The most feared alpha in the Northern Territories. Aurora's father. Beside him sat Scarlet Blackwood, her stepmother. Dressed in deep crimson, Scarlet looked almost regal. Her lips curved into a satisfied smile. Aurora hated that smile. It always meant one thing.
Pain.
Scarlet had waited years for this night. A political bond between Blackwood and Vale would strengthen their power across every territory. Aurora was nothing more than a piece on their board. No freedom. No choice. No voice. The elder stepped toward the altar, holding the ceremonial blade. His voice echoed through the hall. Under moonlight and blood, we witnessed the sacred joining. Aurora's breathing grew shallow. Memories flashed through her mind. Her mother's smile. Her mother's laughter. Her mother's warmth.
Gone.
Taken from her far too soon. And ever since Scarlet entered their home, darkness had replaced everything. The elder raised the blade. By sacred blood, the bond shall begin.
No.
The word shattered the silence. The elder froze. The blade lowered. The hall fell completely silent. Every eye turned toward Aurora. Damon's expression hardened. Alpha Magnus slowly rose from his throne. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. What did you say? Aurora's heart pounded so hard she could hear it. But for the first time in years, she felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Freedom. She lifted her chin. Her voice came steady. I said no. Gasps erupted. Whispers spread through the chamber like wildfire. Scarlet stood instantly. You foolish girl. Damon stepped closer. His aura surged. You don't get to refuse me. Aurora looked directly into his eyes. For years she had remained quiet, obedient, controlled. Not tonight. She saw no kindness in him. No warmth. No future. Only possession. Only cruelty. Only control. She was done. Aurora stepped back, then turned away from the altar. The entire hall watched in disbelief as she walked down the stone steps. Magnus roared. Aurora. She didn't stop. Damon's jaw clenched. Scarlet's face darkened. Still Aurora walked. Toward the back of the hall. Toward the stable doors. The whispers grew louder. Confusion spread. Then Aurora stopped. There, standing near the shadows, was Kai. The stable boy. Simple black clothes. Quiet expression. Calm eyes. The man no one noticed. The man everyone underestimated. The only person who had ever looked at Aurora like she was human instead of property. Laughter broke through the silence. Cruel. Mocking. Unbelieving. She's insane. The Alpha's daughter? With him. Damon stared in disgust. Magnus looked furious. Scarlet nearly trembled with rage. Aurora walked to Kai. Then she reached for his hand. Warm. Steady. Safe. She turned toward everyone and spoke clearly. I choose him. The hall exploded. Laughter filled every corner. Damon sneered. That servant. Scarlet looked horrified. Magnus' fury shook the room. You shame this family. Aurora turned to face him. Her voice sharpened.
No.
Silence returned. Aurora's eyes burned. You shamed this family long before tonight. The room froze. No one spoke to Magnus that way. No one. Scarlet stepped forward. Ungrateful child. Aurora glared. You never wanted me here. Scarlet smiled coldly. Because your mother's weakness poisoned this bloodline. Aurora's breath stopped. My mother wasn't weak. Scarlet leaned closer. Her voice dripped with venom. She died because she was. Aurora's wolf roared inside her. Kai shifted slightly. Protective. Damon laughed. This is pathetic.
He pointed at Kai.
You think this stable rat can protect you? Kai said nothing.
But the air changed.
Something heavy settled over the hall. A dangerous pressure. The laughter slowly died. Kai lifted his head. His gaze locked onto Damon. Then his eyes glowed. Silver. The room stopped breathing. Every wolf froze. The elder dropped his staff. Silver eyes. Impossible. Only one bloodline carried silver eyes. Royal blood. Ancient blood. Nightbane blood. Damon stepped backward. Magnus' face strained. Scarlet stumbled. Kai's voice came low.
Cold.
Controlled. Say that again. Damon swallowed. The stable boy was gone. Who stood before them now was something else entirely. Something dangerous. Something powerful. Magnus narrowed his eyes. Who are you? Kai's gaze shifted toward him. And power rolled through the room. Ancient. Royal.
Terrifying.
Then Elder Rowan stepped forward. His hands trembled. His eyes widened. No. His voice cracked. It cannot be. Kai slowly rolled back his sleeve. A black crescent mark rested on his wrist. The royal mark of Nightbane. The hall erupted.
Shock.
Disbelief.
Fear.
Elder Rowan dropped to his knees. Tears filled his eyes. The lost heir. Scarlet whispered in horror. No. Kai's voice cut through the chaos. I am Kai Nightbane. Silence. Complete silence. Heir to the Nightbane throne. Aurora stared at him. Her pulse thundered.
Kai.
The stable boy. The quiet man she trusted. The lost prince. He turned toward her. His voice softened. Come with me. Before Aurora could respond, Magnus roared. Kill him. Warriors charged. Everything exploded into chaos. Kai moved like lightning. One warrior flew across the hall. Another crashed into stone. A third hit the floor before he could even react. Aurora stared in shock. Kai fought like a storm.
Fast. Precise.
Merciless. Damon snarled and shifted. His massive wolf lunged. Kai shoved Aurora behind him. Stay close. Damon attacked. Kai caught him midair and threw him across the hall like he weighed nothing. Silence fell. No one moved. Kai looked toward Magnus. His silver eyes burned. This kingdom stole everything from my family. Fear flickered in Magnus' face. Real fear. Kai turned toward Aurora. He extended his hand. One choice.
Stay.
Or leave. Aurora looked around. At Magnus. At Scarlet. At Damon struggling on the floor. At the life that had caged her. Then she made her choice. She took Kai's hand. And, together, they ran into the night. Behind them, war horns screamed. The hunt had begun. The cold night air cut across Aurora's skin as she ran beside Kai through the forest. Branches scraped against her gown. Loose stones shifted beneath her feet. Behind them, the distant sound of wolves echoed through the darkness. Blackwood warriors were hunting. Aurora's heart pounded from more than running. Her mind spun. Kai Nightbane. Lost heir. Royal blood. Nothing made sense anymore. Kai suddenly stopped. Aurora nearly collided with him. She caught herself, breathing hard. Why did we stop? Kai lifted one hand. Silent. Listening. Aurora held her breath. Then she heard it. Movement. Fast. Surrounding them. Her pulse spiked. From the darkness, 6 warriors emerged. Blackwood warriors.
Armed. Deadly.
The lead warrior smirked. Alpha Magnus wants his daughter returned. Kai stepped forward. Aurora grabbed his arm. There are too many. Kai looked at her. His silver eyes held steady confidence. His voice came calm.
No.
His expression hardened. There aren't. The warriors attacked. Everything happened in seconds. Steel flashed. Growls tore through the air. Kai moved like shadow and lightning combined. One warrior flew backward into a tree. Another crashed to the ground. A third never got close enough to strike. Aurora stared. She had seen powerful wolves before. She grew up around alphas. But Kai fought differently. Efficient. Controlled.
Precise.
He wasted no movement. No effort. Within moments, all 6 men were down. Silence returned. Aurora stared at him, breathing hard. Her voice shook. Who are you? Kai slowly turned. Moonlight illuminated his face. For the first time, Aurora saw years of pain in his expression. I'm someone who lost everything. Aurora folded her arms. Anger rose through the confusion. That's not enough. Kai said nothing. Aurora stepped closer. You lied to me. His jaw tightened. I hid the truth. Aurora's eyes burned. You let me trust you. Kai met her gaze. His voice softened. I never lied about who I am. Aurora laughed bitterly. You are a stable boy. Kai held her gaze.
No. His voice lowered.
I was hiding as one. Silence stretched. Aurora's emotions clashed. Anger. Confusion.
Hurt.
Relief. Nothing felt clear. Kai exhaled slowly. When I was 6, my family was attacked. Aurora froze. He continued. They came at night. His voice darkened. They burned our home. A distant pain crossed his features. They slaughtered our guards. Aurora swallowed. Kai's fists clenched. They murdered my parents. Aurora felt her anger soften. Pain like that couldn't be faked. Kai's gaze shifted toward the distant mountains. I survived because someone risked everything to hide me. Aurora asked quietly. Who? Kai's voice grew distant. A woman loyal to my mother. His silver eyes hardened. She died protecting me. Aurora's chest tightened.
Kai continued.
For years, I stayed hidden. Waiting. Aurora frowned. For what? Kai looked at her. His gaze sharpened. The truth. A cold shiver ran down Aurora's spine. What truth? Kai stayed silent. Instead, his eyes dropped to her neck. Aurora noticed his stare. His expression changed. Sharp. Focused. What is that? Aurora touched her necklace. The silver moon pendant. Her mother's pendant. She frowned. My necklace. Kai stepped closer. His expression unreadable. Where did you get it? Aurora hesitated. It belonged to my mother. Kai went completely still.
The air changed.
His silver eyes widened.
No.
Aurora frowned. What? Kai stared at the pendant. Then he slowly reached inside his shirt. He pulled out something identical. Aurora stopped breathing.
No.
Impossible. The same pendant.
Same design.
Same crescent moon. Same markings. Aurora looked from his pendant to hers. Her pulse thundered. How? Kai's voice dropped. This symbol belongs to Nightbane royalty. Aurora shook her head. That can't be. Kai's gaze stayed fixed on her. Your mother had this? Aurora nodded slowly. Kai's face shifted from shock to confusion. Then something deeper. Something dangerous.
How?
Aurora swallowed. I don't know. Silence stretched. Neither moved. Neither spoke. Then Kai looked toward the mountains. We need to go. Aurora's voice shook. Kai. He turned. She held up the pendant. What does this mean? Kai's expression darkened. It means your mother knew something. Aurora's stomach twisted. Something bigger was happening. Much bigger. Hours later, dawn broke across towering mountains. Aurora stopped in her tracks. Before her stood something impossible. A kingdom hidden deep within cliffs. Massive stone walls. Ancient towers. Silver banners danced in the wind. Nightbane. Beautiful. Powerful. Untouched. Aurora stared in disbelief. This place. Kai looked toward the kingdom. A shadow of emotion crossed his face. It was home. Massive gates opened. Warriors stepped forward. The moment they saw Kai, they dropped to one knee. My prince. Aurora stared. Everything became real. Kai wasn't pretending. He wasn't hiding anymore. He truly was royal blood. Inside the castle, Aurora struggled to steady herself. Everything had changed too fast. Kai led her through ancient halls, finally stopping outside a quiet chamber. He turned toward her. You'll be safe here. Aurora stared. Safe. Her emotions surged. She stepped forward. You should have told me. Kai held her gaze. I know. Aurora shook her head. I trusted you. Kai's expression tightened. His voice lowered. And if I told you the truth before tonight? Aurora froze. Kai stepped closer. Would you have believed me? Silence. Aurora couldn't answer. Because she didn't know. Kai's voice softened. I never wanted to hurt you. For the first time, Aurora saw the pain behind his calm exterior. Not deception. Not arrogance.
Pain.
Real pain. She turned away. That night, Aurora couldn't sleep. Too many questions. Too many secrets. Her mother's pendant felt heavier than ever. A knock interrupted her thoughts. An elderly woman entered. Silver hair. Wise eyes. Graceful but powerful. She bowed. I am Elder Miriam. Aurora sat up. Miriam's gaze landed on Aurora's pendant. Her expression froze. Her hands trembled. No. Aurora stood immediately. What is it? Miriam stared at the pendant. Her voice shook. That necklace. Aurora touched it. It belonged to my mother. Miriam's breathing changed. What was her name? Aurora frowned. Evelyn Blackwood. Miriam's eyes filled with tears. No. Aurora's pulse quickened. What? Miriam whispered. Evelyn Nightbane. The room spun. Aurora's voice cracked. What? Miriam stared. She wasn't born Blackwood. Aurora shook her head.
No.
Miriam nodded slowly. She was Nightbane. Aurora felt her knees weaken. Impossible. Miriam continued.
She was Kai's aunt.
Shock tore through Aurora. Her voice broke. My mother. Miriam's face filled with sorrow. She ran to protect something important. Aurora's hands shook. What truth? Miriam closed her eyes. The Nightbane massacre was not random. Aurora stopped breathing. It was betrayal. Her voice came barely above a whisper. Who betrayed Nightbane? Miriam opened her eyes and spoke the words that shattered Aurora's world. Your father. The room went silent. Aurora stared at Elder Miriam. Her ears rang. Her body felt numb.
No.
That wasn't possible.
Her voice came out weak.
No. Miriam's expression carried sorrow. Aurora shook her head harder. No, you're lying. Her breathing became uneven. My father would never. Miriam interrupted gently. Your father was not always the man you know today. Aurora stepped backward. Her mind rejected every word.
No.
Tears burned in her eyes.
No.
Miriam slowly walked toward her. When your mother discovered what Magnus had done, everything changed. Aurora froze. What did she discover? Miriam's face darkened. She discovered the truth behind the Nightbane massacre. Aurora swallowed hard. Miriam continued. Years ago, Nightbane was the strongest kingdom in the north. Aurora listened in silence. Your mother was born into power, but she had a kind heart. She wanted peace between territories. Miriam's voice grew heavy, but Magnus wanted more. Aurora's hands trembled. He wanted Nightbane land. He wanted Nightbane wealth. He wanted Nightbane power. Aurora's chest tightened. Miriam looked straight into her eyes. So Magnus made a deal. Aurora whispered. With who? Miriam's face hardened. Scarlet. The name landed like poison. Aurora's breathing stopped. Miriam nodded. Scarlet came from a fallen bloodline. She was clever, ruthless, ambitious. Aurora clenched her fists. She promised Magnus everything. Power, control, dominance. Miriam continued. They planned together. Aurora felt sick. They sold Nightbane's secrets to enemy wolves. Aurora's knees weakened. No. Miriam's eyes filled with pain. The attack succeeded because someone opened the gates. Aurora's tears fell. Magnus. Miriam nodded. He betrayed us. Aurora's heart shattered. Her father. Her own father. The man she spent her life trying to earn love from. The man she feared. The man she still wanted approval from. He destroyed Kai's family. He destroyed her mother's family. Aurora's voice cracked. My mother knew? Miriam nodded. She learned the truth after the massacre. Aurora whispered. What did she do? Miriam exhaled slowly. She confronted Magnus. Aurora's breath hitched. Miriam continued. She wanted justice. Aurora already knew the answer.
But she asked anyway.
What happened? Miriam's silence said everything. Aurora's tears streamed. No. Miriam's voice softened. She was silenced. Aurora felt her soul split. The room blurred. Her mother didn't die naturally. Her mother was killed because she knew too much. Aurora collapsed into the chair behind her. Everything was a lie. Her childhood, her family, her life, all built on betrayal. A knock came. Kai entered. His expression changed instantly. He saw Aurora's tears, her shattered face, the pain.
His jaw tightened.
What happened? Aurora looked up at him. Her voice barely worked. My father. She broke. Kai crossed the room immediately. Aurora stood and slammed her fists against his chest. He killed them.
Tears poured.
He killed your family. Kai froze. Aurora hit him again. And my mother knew. Her body shook violently. Kai grabbed her wrists gently. Aurora. Her voice cracked. He had her killed. Silence. Kai went completely still. His silver eyes darkened. Dangerously.
The air changed. Cold. Deadly.
Kai slowly looked at Miriam. Miriam lowered her head. Confirmation. Kai's expression hardened into something terrifying.
Rage.
Pure rage. Aurora broke completely. She collapsed into him.
Sobbing.
Everything she believed was gone. Kai wrapped his arms around her.
Strong.
Protective.
Steady.
Aurora cried into his chest. Kai held her, saying nothing, just holding her together. After a long silence, Aurora finally spoke. Her voice was broken. What do I do now? Kai looked down at her. His voice came low. You decide who you become. Aurora lifted her tear-filled eyes. Kai's expression remained unreadable. But you are not your father. Aurora's breathing shook.
Kai continued.
You are not his sins. Aurora stared at him. Kai's voice softened. You choose your own path. Something shifted inside her. Pain remained. Anger burned. But beneath both, something stronger awakened. Resolve. Hours later, war drums echoed through Nightbane. A warrior stormed into the chamber. My prince. Kai turned. What is it? The warrior's face was tense. Blackwood forces are approaching. Aurora froze. Kai narrowed his eyes. How many? The warrior swallowed. Hundreds. Aurora's pulse quickened. Kai's voice turned sharp. Who leads them? The warrior hesitated, then answered. Alpha Daemon. Aurora's jaw clenched. Of course. Daemon.
Obsessed.
Possessive.
Cruel.
Kai's expression darkened. The warrior continued. He brought a message. Kai said nothing. The warrior swallowed. Return Aurora or Nightbane burns. Silence. Aurora felt fury rise through her. Daemon still saw her as property. Even now, Kai slowly turned toward her. Their eyes met. Aurora's voice came cold.
No.
Kai studied her. Aurora stepped forward. Her tears were gone. Only fire remained. I'm done running. Kai watched her carefully. Aurora lifted her chin. I won't hide anymore. Kai said nothing. Aurora's wolf stirred. Stronger than ever. For the first time, she felt clear. She looked at Kai. Her voice steady. I want to fight. Kai held her gaze. This was no longer the frightened girl from the altar. Something had changed. Pain had sharpened her. Truth had awakened her. Kai spoke carefully. This war changes everything. Aurora didn't hesitate. It already has. Kai stared for a long moment. Then slowly, he nodded. Outside, storm clouds gathered above Nightbane. War was coming, and neither side would walk away unchanged. Far away inside Blackwood Castle, Scarlet stood by the window, watching the storm. A dark smile curved across her lips. Magnus entered, his expression grim. The army is ready. Scarlet didn't turn. Good. Magnus glared. This battle should never have happened. Scarlet finally faced him. Her eyes were sharp. You're hesitating. Magnus growled. She's my daughter. Scarlet's voice turned cold. She stopped being your daughter the moment she chose him. Magnus said nothing. Scarlet stepped closer. Her voice lowered. If Aurora lives. Magnus stiffened. Scarlet finished. She becomes your downfall. Silence. Scarlet smiled. Choose wisely. Night fell over Nightbane. The kingdom glowed beneath torchlight, but beneath that calm surface, tension stretched through every corridor. Warriors moved quickly across the fortress walls. Weapons were sharpened. Orders were given. Archers took position. No one slept. War was coming. Aurora stood on the balcony, overlooking the kingdom. The wind pushed against her hair. Storm clouds gathered above the mountains. Everything felt different now. Just hours ago, she was an alpha's daughter trapped in a forced mating. Now she stood in the middle of a kingdom preparing for war. And the worst part? The enemy wasn't just Damon. It was her father. Her own blood. Footsteps approached behind her. She already knew who it was.
Kai.
He stopped beside her. For a while, neither spoke. They simply watched the dark horizon together. Aurora broke the silence. When did you plan to tell me? Kai remained still. The truth? Aurora nodded. Kai exhaled slowly. When I had proof. Aurora turned toward him. And then what? Kai met her gaze. His expression softened. I would have asked you to choose. Aurora frowned. Choose what? Kai's voice lowered. Whether you stood with them. He paused. Or with me. Aurora studied him. There was no arrogance in him. No manipulation. Only honesty. For the first time in her life, someone was giving her a choice. A real choice. Aurora asked quietly. Why me? Kai's silver eyes held hers. Because you were different. Aurora frowned. Different how? Kai looked away briefly. When everyone else saw a stable boy,
His voice softened.
you saw a person. Aurora's heart tightened. Kai continued. You never looked down on me. A small silence passed. Aurora whispered. I trusted you. Kai looked back at her. His voice came low. I know. Something shifted between them. The tension felt different now. Warmer. Deeper. More dangerous. Aurora's breathing slowed. Kai stepped closer. Close enough that she could feel his warmth. Close enough that her pulse quickened. His voice dropped. If this battle goes badly. Aurora cut him off.
No.
Kai held her gaze. Aurora. She shook her head.
No.
Her voice strengthened. You don't get to talk like that. Kai's expression softened. Aurora stepped closer. You don't get to leave me. Silence. The air between them changed. Kai's silver eyes darkened. Aurora could hear her heartbeat.
Fast. Loud.
Kai lifted his hand slowly. His fingers brushed a loose strand of hair from her face. Gentle. Unexpectedly gentle. Aurora froze. Her breath caught. Kai's voice barely rose above a whisper. You should go inside. Aurora didn't move.
Neither did Kai.
For one suspended moment, everything else disappeared. The war, the pain, the betrayal. Only this remained. Then,
Horn sounded. Loud.
violent, urgent. Both snapped back to reality. A warrior shouted from below. They're here. The siege had begun. The gates of Nightbane shook as Damon's army surrounded the kingdom. Hundreds of wolves. Blackwood banners flew through the darkness. Torches burned across the battlefield. Damon rode at the front.
Smug. Confident.
Certain of victory. He looked toward the fortress walls. His voice thundered. Aurora. The name echoed. Aurora stepped onto the wall beside Kai. Damon saw her. A twisted smile spread across his face. There you are. Aurora stared down at him.
Cold.
Emotionless. Damon raised his voice. come back willingly. Aurora said nothing. Damon continued. And I may show mercy. Kai's expression darkened. Aurora's voice finally came.
Sharp. Clear.
I'd rather burn. Silence. Then Damon laughed.
Dark.
Cool. There's the fire. His smile vanished. But you still belong to me. Aurora's wolf growled violently.
Kai stepped forward.
Damon sneered. The servant prince. Kai's voice remained calm. You're making a mistake. Damon laughed.
No.
His eyes turned cruel. You are. Damon raised one hand. Attack. Chaos exploded. Arrows filled the sky. Wolves charged. Steel clashed. War had begun. Nightbane warriors surged forward. The battlefield erupted into violence. Aurora watched in horror as everything descended into madness. Kai turned toward her. His voice sharpened. Stay behind the inner wall. Aurora clenched her jaw.
No.
Kai frowned. Aurora. She interrupted. I'm fighting. Kai stared at her. Aurora held his gaze. No fear. No hesitation. Only resolve.
Kai saw it.
She meant it. Finally, he nodded. Stay close. The gates burst open. Kai shifted. A massive black wolf emerged. Larger than any wolf Aurora had ever seen. Power rolled from him. Ancient.
Terrifying.
Beautiful. The Nightbane prince charged into battle. Aurora shifted too. Her wolf burst free. Silver gray.
Fast. Sharp.
Powerful. She joined the fight. Everything became movement.
Sound.
Instinct. Aurora fought with fierce precision. Years of training finally unleashed. 1 warrior.
2.
3. She moved faster than even she expected. Her wolf felt different tonight. Stronger. More alive. Then, pain exploded across her side. Aurora stumbled. A Blackwood warrior had struck her. Before he could attack again, he flew backward.
Kai.
He shifted back into human form beside her, breathing hard. His eyes burned. Are you hurt? Aurora winced. It's nothing. Kai looked furious. Not at her. At the injury. At the man who caused it. Then his expression changed. He stared at Aurora. His eyes widened. Aurora frowned. What? Kai looked stunned. Her wound. It was healing.
Fast.
Too fast. Aurora followed his stare. Her breathing stopped. The deep gash across her side was already disappearing. Impossible. Kai whispered. No. Aurora's pulse quickened. What is it? Kai stared at her. Shock filled his face. Then realization. His voice dropped. Aurora? The battlefield blurred around them. Kai's expression shifted to disbelief. Then he whispered the impossible. You're leakin'. Aurora froze. The battlefield roared around them. Steel clashed. Wolves howled. Men shouted. But for one terrifying second, everything faded. Only Kai's words remained. You're leakin'. Aurora stared at him. Her breathing turned uneven.
What?
Kai's silver eyes stayed locked on her. His expression held pure shock. No ordinary wolf heals like that. Aurora looked down at her side. The wound was gone.
Completely gone.
Not even a scar remained. Her pulse thundered. That's impossible. Kai shook his head slowly.
No.
His voice lowered. It explains everything. Aurora frowned. What are you talking about? Kai grabbed her arm, pulling her away from the chaos for a brief moment. His voice sharpened. Your strength. He looked into her eyes. Your instincts. His grip tightened slightly. The way your wolf responds. Aurora stared. Kai's expression darkened with realization. Your mother hid more than we knew. Aurora's breathing shook. Leakin' blood? Kai nodded. Ancient fear and wonder crossed his face. The original bloodline. Aurora struggled to process it.
No, it couldn't be.
Kai spoke quickly. Lycans were stronger.
Faster.
Rare. Aurora whispered. They're legends.
Kai shook his head. No.
His voice hardened. They were hunted. Aurora's heart pounded. Why? Kai's jaw tightened. Because kings feared them. Before Aurora could respond, a roar shook the battlefield. Damon. His massive wolf tore through warriors as he charged straight toward them. Kai's eyes darkened. Damon shifted mid-run, landing in human form. Blood covered his arms. His expression twisted with fury. "I'm done playing games." Aurora stepped forward. Damon's gaze locked onto her. Something dangerous flashed in his eyes. "You should have chosen me." Aurora's voice came cold. "I'd choose death first." Damon's face twisted. Kai moved protectively in front of her. Damon laughed. "That's adorable." His gaze sharpened. "But this ends now." He lunged. Kai met him head-on. The impact cracked stone. Both men fought with brutal force.
Strike. Block.
Counter. The clash shook the ground beneath them. Damon attacked with savage aggression. Kai fought with precise control. Aurora watched in horror. Damon was strong. Stronger than before. Too strong. Something felt wrong. Then Aurora saw it. A dark mark on Damon's wrist.
Black.
Burning. Unnatural. Kai saw it too. His expression changed.
Shock.
Then fury. "You used blood enhancement." Damon smirked. His voice stripped arrogance. "Now you understand." Aurora frowned. Blood enhancement. Forbidden power. Dangerous. Unstable. Damon had sacrificed control for strength. Kai's voice turned deadly. "You're desperate." Damon laughed. "I'm winning." He attacked again. This time faster. Harder. Kai blocked, but barely. The force sent him backward. Aurora's pulse spiked.
No.
Damon rushed forward, ready to strike. Something inside Aurora snapped. Heat exploded through her body. Raw power surged through every nerve. Her wolf roared, louder than ever before. The air shifted. The ground trembled. Everyone stopped. Both armies froze. Even Damon turned. Aurora's body glowed with silver light. Her breathing deepened. Power rolled off her in waves. Ancient.
Wild. Terrifying.
Kai stared. No one moved. Aurora felt energy burning through her. Not painful. Powerful.
Alive.
Her vision sharpened. Every sound intensified. Every heartbeat around her became clear. She felt unstoppable. Damon stepped back. Fear entered his eyes. "What are you?" Aurora slowly lifted her gaze. Silver light danced in her eyes.
Her voice came calm, cold, deadly.
"The daughter you tried to control." Damon attacked. Aurora moved. Too fast. He never saw her strike. The impact sent him crashing across the battlefield. Gasps filled the air. Damon struggled to stand. Shock covered his face. Impossible. Aurora walked toward him.
Slow. Steady.
Every step radiated power. Damon's confidence shattered. "You..." Aurora's voice cut through him. "You never wanted a mate." Her silver eyes burned. "You wanted ownership." Damon swallowed. Aurora continued. "You never saw me." She stopped before him, only inches away. Her voice lowered. "You only saw power." Damon growled and lunged. Aurora caught him effortlessly. The battlefield went silent. She held him in place. No strain. No effort. Damon's eyes widened. Terror filled his face. Aurora spoke one final time. "You lost." She threw him. His body crashed violently into stone. Silence. Complete silence. Damon tried to rise.
Failed.
Humiliation washed over him.
Public.
Absolute. The mighty Alpha brought down. Aurora turned. Then a voice cut through the battlefield.
Slow.
Sharp. Amused. Well. Every muscle in Aurora's body tensed. She knew that voice. Scarlet. The armies parted. Scarlet stepped forward in crimson. Elegant. Untouched.
Calm.
As if war meant nothing. Magnus followed behind her. Aurora's pulse darkened. Scarlet smiled.
Cold.
Cruel. Impressive. Aurora glared. Scarlet looked almost pleased. "You finally awakened." Kai stepped beside Aurora. Protective. Scarlet's smile widened. "There it is." Aurora's voice sharpened. "What do you want?" Scarlet laughed softly. "You still don't understand." Aurora's fists clenched. Scarlet's eyes gleamed. None of this was accidental. Silence fell. Aurora's stomach tightened. Scarlet tilted her head. Your mother's death. She smiled. The massacre. Her gaze sharpened. Even your awakening. Aurora stopped breathing.
No.
Scarlet's voice dripped with satisfaction. I planned everything. Kai's expression turned murderous. Aurora's voice shook with fury. You're lying. Scarlet laughed.
No.
She stepped closer. I built this. Aurora's wolf roared inside her. Scarlet's eyes gleamed. I guided Magnus. I broke Nightbane. I removed Evelyn. Aurora's entire body shook. Scarlet smiled wider. And now, her gaze locked on Aurora. You've become exactly what I wanted. The battlefield fell into terrifying silence. Aurora's voice cracked with rage. What are you talking about? Scarlet's smile turned chilling. Then she spoke the words that shattered everything again. You were never meant to be Blackwood. Aurora froze. Scarlet's eyes gleamed. You were bred to become Leakin. The battlefield fell into complete silence. Aurora stood frozen. Her breathing stopped. Scarlet's words echoed in her mind. You were bred to become Leakin.
No. No.
That couldn't be real. Aurora's voice came out broken.
What?
Scarlet smiled.
Calm.
Full. Satisfied. Kai's entire body had gone rigid. Magnus looked pale. Even he looked shaken by how far Scarlet was willing to go. Aurora stared at Scarlet. Her voice trembled with fury. You're lying. Scarlet laughed softly. Am I? She stepped forward. Every movement graceful. Dangerous. Like a serpent closing in. Scarlet tilted her head. Your mother was special. Aurora's heart pounded. Scarlet continued. She carried dormant Leakin blood through the Nightbane line. Kai's jaw tightened. Scarlet's gaze shifted between them. And Magnus carried alpha blood strong enough to produce something extraordinary. Aurora's stomach twisted.
No.
Scarlet smiled. You. Aurora felt sick. Scarlet's voice was chillingly calm. You were never just a daughter. She paused. You were an experiment. Rage exploded inside Aurora. No. Scarlet didn't flinch. Your birth was carefully planned. Aurora's hands shook violently. Scarlet continued. Your mother believed she was marrying for peace. Her smile sharpened. She had no idea Magnus, and I already knew what her blood could produce. Aurora's world shattered. Scarlet's voice cut deep. When you were born, her eyes gleamed. I knew immediately. Aurora's pulse thundered. Scarlet whispered. You were the one. Kai's voice turned deadly. Enough. Scarlet looked at him, amused.
Why?
Her smile widened. Does truth scare you? Kai stepped forward. Power rolled from him. Murder burned in his silver eyes. Scarlet remained calm. Untouchable. Aurora's voice shook. My mother. Scarlet looked at her. Yes. Aurora's tears burned. She loved you. Pain cracked through Aurora. Scarlet's voice lowered. And that made her dangerous. Aurora whispered. You killed her. Scarlet's smile vanished. Coldness replaced it. She became a problem. Aurora's breathing turned ragged. Scarlet continued. She found records. Aurora clenched her fists. She learned what Magnus and I had planned. Tears blurred Aurora's vision. Scarlet's voice remained emotionless. She threatened to expose everything. Aurora's voice broke. So you murdered her. Scarlet held her gaze. No denial. No remorse. Just truth. Aurora shattered. Every ounce of grief. Every year of pain. Every unanswered question. All led here. To this woman. Scarlet. The monster who destroyed everything. Aurora's wolf roared violently. Power surged through her body. Silver energy exploded around her. The ground beneath her cracked. Scarlet finally stopped smiling. Aurora lifted her head. Silver light burned in her eyes. When she spoke, her voice no longer sounded entirely human. You took everything. The battlefield trembled. Scarlet's expression hardened. Aurora stepped forward. Raw power rolled through the air. Ancient.
Terrifying.
Magnus stumbled backward. Fear covered his face. Real fear. Aurora looked at him. Her voice shook with rage. You knew. Magnus opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Aurora's tears fell. You knew. Magnus whispered. Aurora? She screamed. You knew. The force of her voice shook the battlefield. Warriors stumbled. Torches flickered. Magnus looked broken. Aurora's voice cracked. You let her kill my mother. Magnus' face twisted with guilt. Aurora. She cut him off.
No.
Her chest rose and fell violently. No excuses. Magnus' eyes filled with regret. Too late. Far too late. Aurora stared at the man she once called father. And saw him clearly.
Weak.
Cowardly. Broken. Not powerful. Not feared. Just pathetic. Kai watched her carefully. Ready. Protective. Scarlet suddenly laughed. Sharp. Mocking. Aurora turned. Scarlet's expression changed. No warmth. No elegance. Only darkness. You're emotional. Aurora glared. Scarlet smiled cruelly. That's your weakness. Aurora's voice came calm.
Cold. No.
She stepped forward. Silver power rising. Scarlet's smile faded. Aurora's eyes burned. That was hers. Silence. Aurora's voice sharpened. It isn't mine. Something dangerous crossed Scarlet's face. For the first time, uncertainty. Aurora moved.
Fast.
Too fast. Scarlet barely reacted before Aurora reached her. The battlefield gasped. Aurora grabbed Scarlet by the throat, lifting her, effortlessly. Scarlet's eyes widened. Shock. Real shock. Aurora's voice shook with fury. This is for my mother. Scarlet struggled, clawing at Aurora's wrist. Aurora didn't move, didn't flinch. Scarlet wheezed. Then, she smiled. Aurora froze. Why was she smiling? Scarlet's voice came strained. You still don't understand. Aurora frowned. Scarlet's eyes gleamed. Then she whispered, if I die, her smile widened. So does he. Aurora's blood ran cold.
Kai.
Aurora's grip loosened. Scarlet dropped, coughing. Kai frowned. What does that mean? Scarlet laughed. Weakly. Cruelly. Aurora's pulse thundered. Scarlet rose slowly. Her breathing uneven. But smiling. Always smiling. She looked at Aurora. Then Kai. And delivered one final blow. Kai carries the curse. Silence. Aurora's breathing stopped. Scarlet's eyes gleamed with victory. The same curse that killed his father.
Kai's face changed. Shock.
Then anger. Scarlet smiled wider. And it's waking. The battlefield fell silent again. No one moved. No one breathed. Scarlet's words lingered like poison in the air. Kai carries the curse. Aurora slowly turned toward Kai. Her pulse pounded violently. Kai stood frozen. His silver eyes darkened. Not with anger, with recognition, with fear. Aurora's voice shook. Kai. Kai said nothing. That silence said everything. Scarlet laughed softly. Cruel. Satisfied. Oh. She tilted her head. So you didn't know. Aurora's heart dropped. Scarlet smiled. That makes this even better. Kai clenched his fists. His breathing changed. Heavier. Uneven. Scarlet circled slowly. Every word deliberate. Your father wasn't killed in the massacre alone. Kai's jaw tightened. Scarlet's voice sharpened. He was already dying. Aurora frowned. Scarlet's smile widened. The Nightbane curse. Kai's silver eyes flashed dangerously. Scarlet continued. Power beyond control. Aurora stared. Scarlet pointed at Kai. When Nightbane heirs reach full power,
She paused.
they either master the darkness, her smile deepened, or become monsters. Silence. Aurora's stomach twisted. Scarlet looked delighted. Your father failed. Kai's breathing grew rougher. Scarlet's voice dripped with poison. He lost control. Aurora looked at Kai. His hands were shaking. Scarlet noticed, and smiled wider. You're feeling it now, aren't you? Kai's jaw locked. Scarlet stepped closer. You've been fighting it for years. Aurora's pulse spiked. Scarlet whispered. But tonight. Her gaze shifted to Aurora. The Leakin awakened. Kai's expression darkened. Scarlet's voice turned triumphant. And your power awakened his curse. Aurora froze.
No.
Scarlet's words struck like knives. Your bond with him accelerated it. Aurora shook her head.
No.
Scarlet smiled. He's running out of time. Kai's breathing became harsher. Aurora rushed to him. Kai. He stepped back. Aurora froze. Kai's face twisted with pain. His silver eyes flickered. Then darkened. Something was changing. Something terrifying. Scarlet's laughter echoed. There it is. Kai growled.
Low.
Dangerous. Aurora's heart slammed. Kai. He clenched his head. Fighting something invisible. His voice came strained. Move away. Aurora shook her head instantly.
No.
Kai's breathing turned savage. His voice sharpened. Aurora. His eyes flickered again. Silver. Black. Silver. Black. Aurora's pulse thundered. Kai was losing control. Scarlet smiled with vicious satisfaction. Yes. She whispered. Break. Kai dropped to one knee. The ground cracked beneath him. Power exploded from his body. Dark energy surged violently. Warriors stumbled backward. Even Magnus looked terrified. Aurora rushed forward. Kai! He roared. The sound shook the battlefield. Raw pain. Raw fury. Kai's body trembled violently. Bones shifted. Power erupted. His wolf forced forward. But this wasn't his normal shift. This was something else. Something darker. Something monstrous. Aurora's breath caught. Massive black fur emerged. Larger than before. Much larger. His claws tore through stone. His silver eyes darkened almost completely. Scarlet laughed. He's gone. Aurora stared.
No. No.
Kai's monstrous wolf rose to full height. Huge. Terrifying. Powerful beyond imagination. The battlefield trembled. Warriors backed away in terror. Scarlet smiled. Kill her. Aurora froze. Scarlet's voice sharpened. Kill everyone. Kai's dark eyes locked onto Aurora. Aurora's pulse stopped. No recognition. No warmth. Nothing. Only raw instinct. Predator. Danger. Scarlet's voice rang out. See. She smiled. The monster awakens. Kai lunged. Gasps erupted. Aurora didn't move. She stared into his eyes. Her heart shattered.
Kai.
The man who saved her. The man who protected her.
Gone.
The monstrous wolf closed the distance instantly. Then, Aurora whispered, Kai. The wolf froze. Scarlet's smile faltered. Aurora took a step forward. The monstrous wolf growled. Violent. Conflicted. Aurora's silver eyes softened. Her voice trembled. I know you're still there. The wolf snarled. Fighting. Struggling. Scarlet shouted. Kill her. The wolf shook violently. Aurora stepped closer. Gasps filled the battlefield. Kai could kill her in seconds. Aurora ignored everyone. Ignored the danger. Only Kai mattered. Tears filled her eyes. Her voice cracked. You are not a monster. The wolf growled louder. Darkness fought harder. Aurora's voice shook. You are not your curse. Kai trembled violently. Scarlet screamed. Kill her. Aurora stood her ground. Silver energy glowed around her.
Warm. Pure.
Ancient. She stepped close enough to touch him. The battlefield held its breath. Aurora lifted her trembling hand. Slowly. Gently. She placed it against his face. The massive wolf froze. Completely. Aurora whispered. Come back to me. Silence. No one moved. No one breathed. Aurora's tears fell. Her voice broke. I'm here. The wolf trembled. Darkness battled inside him. Aurora closed her eyes. Her silver light grew brighter. Warm energy flowed from her. Through her hand. Into him. The monstrous wolf shook violently. Scarlet's face changed.
Fear.
Real fear.
No.
Aurora's voice strengthened. You are not alone. Kai trembled harder. Silver flickered in his dark eyes. Scarlet screamed. No. Aurora's light intensified. Brighter. Stronger. The darkness cracked. Kai roared. A terrifying roar. Then, everything exploded in silver light. The battlefield disappeared in blinding brightness. Shockwaves tore across the ground. Silence followed. Slowly, the light faded. Aurora opened her eyes. Her breath caught. Kai knelt before her. Human again.
Weak.
Shaken. Breathing hard. But himself. His silver eyes looked up at her.
Clear. Alive.
Aurora dropped to her knees. Tears streaming. Kai. Kai stared at her. Amazed. Disbelieving. His voice came rough. You brought me back. Aurora let out a broken laugh through tears. Kai slowly rose. His gaze shifted past her. Toward Scarlet. Everything changed. The softness vanished. A cold fury replaced it.
Kai stood.
Power rolled off him again. But controlled now. Balanced.
Stronger.
Scarlet stepped backward. For the first time, she looked afraid. Kai's voice came low.
Deadly.
It ends now. Scarlet stepped back. Then another step. For the first time since this began, the woman who controlled everyone no longer looked untouchable. She looked afraid. Kai stood beside Aurora.
Calm. Cold.
Terrifying. But different now. Stronger. Balanced. The darkness inside him no longer fought for control. Aurora could feel it. Something had changed. The curse was broken. Scarlet sensed it too. Her breathing turned sharp. No. Kai's silver eyes locked on hers. His voice came low. Controlled. You lost. Scarlet forced a laugh. But the confidence was gone. You think this is over? Aurora slowly rose to her feet. Silver energy still flickered around her. Scarlet's gaze shifted to Aurora. Her expression twisted.
Hatred.
Pure hatred. Aurora stared at her. No fear. No hesitation. Only clarity. Only truth. Scarlet's voice sharpened. You were supposed to become mine. Aurora frowned. Scarlet smiled bitterly. You were power. Aurora's jaw tightened. Scarlet's voice rose. Everything I built was for power. She pointed toward Magnus. He wanted kingdoms.
She pointed toward Kai.
He wanted revenge. Then she pointed toward Aurora. But you. Her eyes burned. You were perfection. Aurora's stomach twisted. Scarlet's obsession ran deeper than ambition. It was madness. Scarlet's voice cracked. I created this. Aurora's voice came cold.
No.
Scarlet glared. Aurora stepped closer. You destroyed everything you touched. Silence. Aurora's silver eyes burned. You call that power? Scarlet's expression darkened. Aurora continued. My mother had power. Her voice strengthened. She chose love. Scarlet's breathing grew harsher. Aurora stepped closer again. Kai has power. She glanced at him. He chose control. Then Aurora looked back at Scarlet. Her voice sharpened. You had power. A long pause. Aurora's final words cut deep. And you chose cruelty. Scarlet snapped. A scream tore from her throat. Raw rage exploded. She lunged. Straight at Aurora. Aurora moved.
Fast.
Effortless. She caught Scarlet's wrist mid-strike. The battlefield gasped. Scarlet struggled. Aurora didn't move. Didn't blink. Scarlet's fury turned desperate. You ruined everything. Aurora's voice came calm.
No.
She tightened her grip. You did. Scarlet attacked with her other hand. Aurora blocked instantly. Then, with one clean movement, she threw Scarlet to the ground.
Hard.
The impact cracked stone. Scarlet cried out. Humiliation flooded her face.
Public.
Absolute. The woman who controlled kingdoms now lay broken in the dirt. Aurora walked toward her. Scarlet scrambled backward. Terrified. No. Aurora stopped above her. Scarlet looked small now.
Weak.
Pathetic. Nothing like the monster who haunted Aurora's childhood. Aurora's voice remained steady. You took my mother. Scarlet trembled. You took his family. Scarlet's breathing turned frantic. You destroyed lives for ambition. Tears filled Scarlet's eyes. Not remorse.
Fear.
Only fear. Aurora looked down at her. The hatred she carried for years was still there. But something had changed. She no longer felt powerless. She no longer felt broken. She felt free. Scarlet whispered, "Please." Aurora stared. This woman had never begged before. Aurora's voice came cold. "You taught me something." Scarlet trembled. Aurora's gaze sharpened. "Fear doesn't look powerful." Silence. Aurora stepped back, then turned away. Scarlet blinked in disbelief. Aurora wasn't killing her. Scarlet's voice cracked. "You're sparing me?" Aurora looked over her shoulder. Her voice came quiet, sharp. "No." Scarlet frowned. Aurora's eyes burned. "I'm leaving you with what you fear most." Scarlet's breathing stopped. Aurora delivered the final blow. Powerless. Scarlet shattered. A broken scream escaped her. Everything she worshipped.
Gone. Kai turned.
His silver gaze settled on Magnus. The battlefield went silent again. Magnus stood alone. No army. No control. No authority. Just a broken man surrounded by the ruins of his choices. Aurora slowly faced him. This moment hurt more than everything else. Her father. The man who failed her. The man who failed everyone. Magnus looked at Aurora. His face filled with guilt.
Pain.
Regret. Aurora, her eyes filled with tears. Not weakness.
Pain.
Magnus took one step forward, then stopped. His voice broke. "I never wanted this." Aurora laughed. The sound cracked with heartbreak. "No." Tears streamed down her face. "You betrayed my mother." Magnus lowered his head. Aurora's voice rose. "You destroyed Kai's family." Silence. Magnus whispered, "I was blinded." Aurora's chest rose sharply. "By what?" Magnus closed his eyes. "Power." Aurora's voice shattered. "I was your daughter." Magnus flinched. Aurora stepped closer, tears falling freely. "I was your daughter." Her voice broke completely. "And you chose power." Magnus' face crumbled. Pain consumed him. Real regret. Too late. Far too late. Aurora stared at him. Every childhood memory. Every painful moment. Every unanswered question. All led here. Magnus whispered, "I failed you." Aurora's breathing shook. Magnus' voice cracked. "I failed everyone." Silence. The battlefield watched. Aurora looked at him, and finally saw the truth. He was no king, no alpha, no monster, just a weak man who made cowardly choices. Aurora's voice came quiet, heavy. "You did." Magnus closed his eyes. Tears slid down his face. Aurora spoke again. "You don't get forgiveness." Magnus lowered his head. He already knew. Aurora's final words ended everything. "But you will live with what you became." Silence. Magnus slowly dropped to his knees. Broken. Defeated. Finished. The feared alpha of Blackwood had fallen. Not by force. By truth. War was over. The storm above slowly cleared. Moonlight broke through the clouds. Silver light poured over the battlefield.
Warm.
Peaceful. Quiet. Aurora exhaled. For the first time in years, the weight inside her began to lift. Kai stepped beside her. His hand brushed hers, then gently held it.
Warm. Steady.
Safe. Aurora looked at him. His silver eyes softened. No darkness. No curse. Only him. Kai whispered, "It's over." Aurora looked toward the moon. Tears slipped down her cheeks. This time, not from pain, from release.
From peace.
She whispered, "Yes." Finally, it was over. 3 weeks later, Nightbane looked alive again. The broken walls had been rebuilt. The battlefield scars had begun to fade. Silver banners danced proudly in the wind. Where war once stood, peace slowly returned. The kingdom no longer felt haunted. It felt hopeful. For the first time in years, people smiled without fear. Children ran through the courtyards laughing. Warriors no longer prepared for battle. They prepared for celebration. Today was different. Today marked a new beginning. Inside the royal chamber, Aurora stood before a tall mirror. She barely recognized the woman staring back. Gone was the frightened girl trapped inside Blackwood. Gone was the daughter desperate for approval. The woman standing here now was stronger, sharper.
Free.
Not because pain disappeared, but because she survived it. She carried her scars differently now. As strength. A soft knock came. Aurora turned. Elder Miriam entered with a gentle smile. You look like her. Aurora's expression softened. My mother? Miriam nodded. Strong. Aurora swallowed. A small smile touched her lips. I hope so. Miriam walked closer. She adjusted Aurora's silver ceremonial cloak, then smiled warmly. She would be proud. Aurora's eyes filled slightly. This time, the tears didn't fall. The pain still existed, but it no longer ruled her. Miriam squeezed her hand. They're waiting. Outside, the grand courtyard overflowed with people. Nightbane warriors, elders, families, pack leaders from every territory. Even wolves from Blackwood stood among them. Not as enemies, as witnesses. Everyone waited. At the center stood Kai, dressed in royal black, silver markings embroidered across his ceremonial robe. Power radiated from him, but so did calm. He looked every bit the king he was born to become. Then Kai lifted his gaze. Aurora stepped into view. The crowd fell silent. Moonlight reflected against her silver gown. Graceful, powerful, radiant. Kai stared at her. For one quiet moment, everything disappeared. The crowd, the ceremony, the world. Only Aurora remained. She walked toward him, steady, confident, no fear. When she reached him, Kai's gaze softened. A small smile touched his lips. You look beautiful. Aurora smiled. So, do you? A few quiet laughs rippled through the crowd. The elder stepped forward. His voice echoed clearly. We gather under moonlight to witness, not only a union, he paused, but a new era. The crowd remained silent, watching, listening. The elder continued. One born from loss. His gaze shifted to Kai. One forged by truth. His gaze shifted to Aurora. And one strengthened by choice. Kai looked at Aurora. His voice came quiet.
Warm.
You still have a choice. Aurora blinked. Kai's silver eyes held hers. No pressure. No force. Only love. Only respect.
Kai continued.
If you want to walk away.
His voice softened.
I'll understand. Aurora stared at him, then laughed softly. Kai frowned slightly. Aurora smiled through emotion. After everything, she squeezed his hand. You still ask. Kai's expression softened further. Aurora looked into his eyes. The man who saved her, protected her, trusted her, chose her. Again and again. Her voice came steady.
Clear.
I choose you. Silence. Then the courtyard erupted.
Cheers.
Applause.
Joy.
The elder smiled. Under the moon's blessing, Kai placed the ceremonial crown upon Aurora's head. Silver light glowed softly around them.
Warm.
Gentle. Peaceful. The bond settled. Not forced. Not arranged. Chosen. Real. Kai leaned closer. His voice dropped to a whisper. You changed everything. Aurora smiled. So did you. Kai gently touched her cheek. His voice softened. You saved me. Aurora's eyes warmed. You saved me first, then before the crowd. Kai kissed her. The kingdom erupted. Cheers filled the night. Joy echoed through Nightbane. Hope had returned. Far beyond the celebration, inside the cold remains of Blackwood Castle, Magnus sat alone. No throne. No power. No authority. Only silence. Only regret. Every choice. Every betrayal. Every mistake. They all lived with him now. And Scarlet? She lived in exile. Stripped of influence. Stripped of control. Forced to live with the one thing she feared most. Powerlessness. Justice had come. Not through cruelty. Through truth. Back in Nightbane, the celebration continued late into the night. Music filled the air. Laughter spread through every corner. Aurora stood on the balcony beside Kai, watching their people celebrate. Kai slipped his hand into hers. Aurora leaned into him. Comfortable, safe, peaceful. Kai broke the silence. Any regrets? Aurora smiled. She looked at the moon, then at him, then back toward the kingdom below. Her kingdom, their kingdom. Her voice came soft.
Certain.
None. Kai smiled. The wind moved gently around them. Aurora's thoughts drifted back to that night. The mating ceremony, the laughter, the mockery, the humiliation. She remembered every cruel face, every insult, every whisper. And now, everything had changed. Aurora smiled softly. Then she spoke the words that would live in Nightbane for generations. They laughed when the Alpha's daughter walked away from the mating ceremony with a stable boy. Kai smiled beside her. Aurora looked at him, love filling her gaze. Then finished. But I didn't choose a stable boy. She stepped closer. Her voice turned warm.
Proud.
I chose a king. Kai smiled, then pulled her gently into his arms. Above them, the moon shone brighter than ever. And for the first time in a very long time, peace truly returned. And that's how the Alpha's daughter walked away with the boy everyone mocked, only to rise beside a king. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful Alpha and Luna stories filled with betrayal, revenge, romance, and shocking twists. Tell me in the comments, what was your favorite moment in this story? Was it Aurora's awakening, Kai's transformation, or Scarlet's downfall? Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story. See you in the next one. Stay blessed.